After 60, many of us enter retirement with open hearts ready to give, to help to be there for our children in ways we couldn't when life was busier. But here's the truth no one warns us about. Sometimes the very things we give our time, our money, our decisions can quietly cost us more than we expect. Not all generosity brings peace. And if you're not careful, what feels like support can slowly erase your independence. You've spent decades working, saving, and sacrificing. Now is the season to protect what you've built, not because you're unloving, but because your well-being matters. Senior health experts agree that maintaining personal boundaries after retirement plays a key role in healthy aging and emotional stability. The goal of retirement isn't just to rest. It's to live with dignity, clarity, and freedom. And that means being intentional with what you give away. In this video, we'll uncover 7 things you should never give your children after retirement if you want to live healthy after 50 and enjoy your golden years in peace. These aren't about pushing family away. They're about drawing the kind of boundaries that protect your longevity, your wellness, and your joy. And if you're ready to protect your peace and take charge of your future, tap like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Tell me in the comments, have you ever said yes to something when deep down you wanted to say no? Now let's take a closer look at what you must hold on to before it quietly slips away. Number 1, control over financial decisions. For decades, you've worked hard. You've earned, saved, and managed your money through ups and downs. But after retirement, that sense of control is easier to lose than you think. Not because of carelessness, but because of love, because you trust your children. And that's where it often begins. Maybe it starts with a simple favor. Your son offers to handle online banking so you don't have to bother, or your daughter says she'll take care of the bills while you recover from surgery. At first it feels helpful, like teamwork, but over time the lines start to blur. You stop seeing the statements. Decisions get made without your input. Your voice becomes quieter while theirs becomes louder. And one day you realize you're no longer the one steering your financial future. That's not partnership. That's surrender. Let me tell you about Frank. He's 74, lives in Oklahoma, and spent most of his life as a high school coach. A good man, modest lifestyle, always paid his own way. When his wife passed, his daughter offered to handle his checking account. At first she did great, paid the bills, balanced the books. But gradually she started moving money without asking, buying gifts for the grandkids, upgrading things in her home. I thought it was fine, she told him. It's family money. But it wasn't. It was Frank's savings. And when he noticed she didn't see the problem, Frank said something that stuck with me. I wasn't broke, but I felt powerless, like I didn't even own my own life anymore. That's the danger. Not just losing dollars, but losing dignity. Financial control is not about being stingy. It's about protecting the independence you spent a lifetime earning. According to the National Council on Aging, financial abuse costs older Americans an estimated $3 billion each year. And most of the time it comes from someone they know and trust. That doesn't mean you have to be suspicious. It means you have to be prepared. Because senior health isn't just about your body. It's about your autonomy. If you need help, ask, but keep boundaries clear. Avoid giving full access to your accounts. Use joint accounts only when absolutely necessary. Keep written records. Set up alerts. Understand what's happening with your money at all times. You don't need to be tech savvy. You just need to stay informed. And if something feels wrong, say so. No one, no matter how close, should control your money without your full understanding. Because how you spend your final decades depends on the decisions you make today. Doctor tips for older adults often stress this: financial independence supports emotional stability. It lets you live with less stress, fewer conflicts, and greater freedom. This is your chapter. You've earned the right to decide where you live, what you spend, and how you support others. Aging gracefully means standing firmly in your values, even when it's uncomfortable. The moment you give away your financial voice, you risk losing your sense of self. And no matter how much you love your children, that's a cost too high to pay. Number 2, your home or property. A house isn't just wood and nails, it's your anchor. It's the kitchen where you made birthday cakes, the hallway where your grandchild took their first steps, the porch where you've watched dozens of sunsets. But for many older adults, that sense of security gets handed over too soon. Not out of carelessness, but out of trust. Some are told it's smarter for taxes. Others believe it'll make things easier when the time comes. So they sign over the deed to a son or daughter, And in doing so, they unknowingly surrender something far more valuable than the property itself. They give up control. There's a reason senior health experts constantly emphasize the importance of maintaining stability in later life. Once your name is no longer on that deed, your decisions about who comes in when you move or what happens next can disappear. Not because your child has bad intentions, but because life changes in ways we don't expect. Divorce, debt, lawsuits, even a job loss, they can all pull your home into someone else's crisis. Take the story of Alice. She's 78, a retired nurse in Georgia. 2 years ago, she transferred her house to her youngest son. He had convinced her it would protect the property from potential nursing home expenses. "I wanted to make things simple," she said. But when he got into legal trouble, her home became part of the court documents. She couldn't sell, couldn't refinance. Worst of all, she felt like a guest in her own space. "I used to feel safe," Alice said. "Now I feel stuck." And the law, it wasn't on her side anymore. According to the American Bar Association, once a property is legally transferred, even family agreements can become difficult to reverse. That's why it's so important to protect what you've earned. Your home is not just part of your financial future. It's a key to over 60 wellness and emotional security. Losing control of it can increase stress, anxiety, and even affect your physical health. That doesn't mean you shouldn't plan. It means planning with wisdom. Use living trusts. Explore shared ownership agreements that still protect your rights. Consult with an elder law attorney, someone who understands the balance between family law and long-term care. But never feel rushed to hand over what gives you peace. Senior health tips often focus on physical routines and nutrition, but having a safe, stable home is just as important as a daily walk or balanced meal. It allows you to rest fully, think clearly, and recover quickly from illness or stress. It gives you the freedom to say no when you need to, and it reminds you this chapter is still yours. Protecting your home is not selfish, it's responsible. You spent your life creating this space. You have every right to keep it live in it and pass it on when the time truly feels right. Until then, your home is your ground, and no one else should decide when or how you leave it. Number 3, unlimited access to your time and energy. Time changes after 60. It no longer moves the way it did when you were raising kids or building a career. Now every hour matters more, not just because it's limited, but because it's finally yours. And yet too many older adults give it away without even noticing. A quick ride to the store, watching the grandkids just for a few hours, helping sort papers, make dinner, pick someone up, drop someone off. Day by day, your free time gets filled up, not with peace or joy, but with obligation. And when no one asks if you're tired or if it's too much, you start to wonder if your time ever really belonged to you in the first place. This isn't about being unwilling to help. It's about knowing your limits. Healthy aging depends on rest routine and the freedom to choose how your day unfolds. If every day feels scheduled by someone else, you're not retired, you're just working a different shift. There's a woman named Teresa. She's 72 and lives in Illinois. Her daughter went back to work after maternity leave, and Teresa offered to babysit just twice a week. But now she watches the baby 5 days a week, cooks dinner most nights, and hasn't been to her book club in months. "I didn't mind helping," she said, "but I lost myself in the process." According to the CDC, older adults who lack personal downtime report higher levels of chronic fatigue, sleep disturbances, and increased anxiety. This isn't just a feeling, it's a threat to your well-being. Senior health is deeply tied to how you use your time. And the most powerful daily habits for longevity don't require exercise equipment or supplements. They require boundaries. Time is not an endless gift. It is earned, it is precious, and it is yours to manage. Your energy is not a bottomless well. You are allowed to rest without guilt. You are allowed to say no without explanation. If you want to drive your grandchild to school, do it because it brings you joy, not because it's become your job. If you love helping with errands, do it when you feel up for it, not when you feel pressured. The people who love you will understand. And if they don't, it's still okay to say, "I need this time for me." Healthy aging isn't just about what you eat or how you move. It's about how you protect your peace. It's about having space to breathe, to rest, to pursue your own joys without needing anyone's permission. Boundaries are not barriers, they are protection. And sometimes saying no is the most loving thing you can do for yourself and your family. Number 4, the role of emotional fixer or therapist. You've been there for every scraped knee, every heartbreak, every moment they needed to cry on someone's shoulder. And now, even in adulthood, they still turn to you. They call when they're overwhelmed, they vent when life feels unfair. They unload every fear without asking if you have the strength to hold it. But here's what no one tells you. You don't have to carry what isn't yours. Being a good parent doesn't mean being an emotional sponge, especially not after retirement when your body and mind are finally asking for peace. Longevity secrets don't just come from diet or exercise. They come from emotional balance, from knowing when to let go. Because stress doesn't just sit in your mind, it lives in your body. According to research from the National Institute on Aging Constant, emotional stress can increase inflammation, weaken your immune system, and speed up cognitive decline. That's not just uncomfortable, that's dangerous. Natural health for seniors begins with protecting your inner calm. You cannot heal if you're always absorbing someone else's wounds. Let me tell you about Roger. He's 76 and lives in North Carolina. His son calls nearly every night panicking about work, complaining about money, arguing with his partner. At first, Roger listened patiently, but soon he was losing sleep, skipping meals, and feeling sick from worry. One night, he said, I hung up the phone and realized I was the one carrying all the weight, but none of it was mine. That moment changed everything. He started setting limits. He told his son, I'll always care, but I can't be your therapist. I need rest too. It wasn't rejection, it was recovery. Doctor tips for older adults often stress this piece as a form of protection, not just for your mind, but for your blood pressure, your heart, your nervous system. You can say, that sounds hard. I hope you find a way through. You can recommend counseling or support groups or other resources. You can still love deeply without drowning. You are not cold for needing quiet. You are not selfish for needing space. You have every right to protect your emotional boundaries. You've spent a lifetime holding others up. Now it's time to hold on to yourself. Retirement is not the time to become everyone's crisis hotline. It's the time to restore, to reflect, to breathe fully again. Your peace is not a luxury, it's your medicine. And the moment you stop treating yourself like an afterthought, you'll begin to feel what real freedom tastes like. Number 5, raising grandchildren full-time. There's nothing quite like the love between a grandparent and a grandchild. It's deep, it's joyful, it's unconditional. But love alone isn't enough to carry the weight of full-time parenting at 70 or 80. And yet so many grandparents step back into the role of caregiver without realizing what they're giving up. Their time, their health, their peace. At first it might feel like a small favor, a summer babysitting, helping after school. But weeks turn into months. Months turn into years. And suddenly your golden years start to look an awful lot like the busy, tired years you thought you'd left behind. You start skipping your morning walk. Your meals become rushed. Your sleep gets interrupted. And your own needs begin to shrink behind the needs of a toddler or a teen. What began with love becomes a slow erosion of your own life. There's a man named Harold. He's 75 and lives in Arizona. When his daughter got divorced, he offered to help with his grandson. Now, 5 years later, Harold is packing lunches, doing school drop-offs, and helping with homework every night. I didn't think I'd be doing this again, he told me. And I'm so tired I forget to eat sometimes. That's not a rare story. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, over 2.5 million grandparents in America are primary caregivers for grandchildren. And while that care is full of love, it also comes with high emotional and physical costs. Senior health tips remind us your body at 70 is not what it was at 40. It needs recovery, nutrition, and rest, not diapers and sleepless nights. Healthy aging depends on balance. You cannot maintain wellness if you are constantly depleted. Your nervous system, your immune function, your mental clarity all decline under chronic stress. And when your own doctor visits get skipped because you're too busy caring for someone else, it's time to ask a hard question. Am I really helping, or am I quietly hurting myself? A good senior nutrition guide won't just tell you what to eat. It will remind you to sit down, to chew slowly, to make space in your day for your own nourishment, not just someone else's. Because your health is still your responsibility. If your child truly needs help, it's okay to offer support. But it's also okay to say I can watch them on Mondays and Fridays, but not every day. It's okay to suggest shared care, part-time daycare, or other family solutions. Saying no doesn't make you cold. It makes you wise. You've already raised a family. You've already done the hard years. Now is the time to protect the life you've earned. You can still be present without being the parent. You can still love them without losing yourself. Number 6, your retirement savings or emergency funds. That savings account didn't appear overnight. It came from years of early mornings, late nights, and careful planning. You skipped vacations, paid off debts, and tucked away what you could so that when the time came, you'd be secure. But now that safety net is quietly at risk, not from fraud or scams, but from the people you love most. It starts small: a little help with rent, a car repair, a loan just until payday. Before you know it, thousands are gone and no one's keeping track. You tell yourself it's okay. It's family. They need it. You can help. But here's the truth most seniors learn too late. Once money leaves your account, it rarely comes back. And you are the one left wondering how to pay for the life you still have to live. Clara, a 79-year-old widow from Oregon, knows this feeling well. Over 6 years, she gave her son nearly $20,000 bit by bit without a plan. First, it was his credit cards, then a down payment, then help when he lost his job. She thought it was temporary, but when her roof started leaking last winter, there was nothing left to fix it. She told me I wasn't broke, but I was one emergency away from trouble. And that kind of stress does more than keep you up at night. It affects your body. It wears on your heart, weakens your immune system, and accelerates cognitive decline. Doctor-backed longevity tips remind us chronic stress is a trigger for aging faster and living shorter. Senior health means protecting the foundation that gives you stability. And nothing is more foundational than your retirement savings. Those funds are not just numbers. They are freedom. They are dignity. If you truly want to help your children, teach them how to plan. Encourage them to seek resources, use payment plans, or ask for professional advice. But don't drain your future to fix theirs. Because if your health changes and your savings are gone, the burden may fall back on them tenfold. A study by the Employee Benefit Research Institute found that nearly 60% of retirees underestimate the cost of long-term care. And once that need appears, it doesn't come cheap. Protecting your savings isn't selfish. It's smart. It may even be one of the best ways to prevent aging diseases triggered by financial anxiety. You can give guidance without giving away your lifeline. You can support with love without sacrificing peace. And if you've already given too much, it's never too late to change course. Set new boundaries. Say, I have to protect what I've built. Because the greatest gift you can give your children is a parent who doesn't need saving. Number 7, decision-making power over your life plans. You've made a lifetime of decisions. Where to live, what to do, how to raise your children. Now, as you enter retirement, you'd think you'd have more control than ever. But for many older adults, that power slowly slips away, disguised as help, wrapped in love, delivered with concern. They say you shouldn't live alone. You're too old to drive. Let's just move you closer. And while these words sound kind, they often carry something heavier. The quiet message that your voice no longer matters. It doesn't happen all at once. One small decision, then another, until suddenly you're living in a place you didn't choose, following a routine you didn't create, surrounded by choices you didn't make. You start to question your own instincts. You begin to ask permission for a life that's still yours. Miriam is 81. She lived her entire adult life in a small Colorado town. After her husband passed, her children insisted she move closer to them in the city. They meant well. But once she arrived, everything felt off. I left my church, my neighbors, my garden. I don't even recognize the streets here, she said. She tried to adjust, but the loneliness crept in. I thought I was choosing connection, she told me. But what I really lost was my place in the world. That loss isn't rare. Studies show that older adults who lose control over their living situations experience higher rates of depression, faster cognitive decline, and poorer physical health. That's why over 60 wellness isn't just about walking or vitamins. It's about power, the power to make decisions that reflect who you are today. Natural health for seniors means listening to your own voice. Even when others are speaking louder, you can hear their concerns. But you don't have to hand over the keys to your life. Aging gracefully advice is simple, live, according to your values, not someone else's vision. You still get to choose where you live, how you spend your mornings, what you eat, who you visit. You can make compromises, but you don't have to surrender. Not now, not ever. Retirement is not the end of your authority. It's the beginning of a new kind of freedom. The freedom to live fully without guilt, to honor your rhythm, your routines, your reasons, and to say with confidence, I appreciate your concern, but I know what's best for me. That sentence might be the most important one you ever speak, because it's not just about a decision, it's about dignity. You can love deeply and still protect your peace. You can give support without giving away your time, your energy, or your independence. It's not selfish to set limits. It's wise. Because the stronger your boundaries, the more freely your love can flow. Each of these 7 things holds power. Power to shape your retirement, power to protect your health, and power to help you age with dignity, clarity, and purpose. This stage of life is not about saying yes to everything, it's about choosing what truly matters. Ask yourself today, have I given away too much of myself, and what would it look like to take one piece of it back? You deserve a retirement that brings peace, not pressure. And that peace begins with the choices you make now. If this message helped you, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell. Your support helps us keep sharing trusted tips and inspiring stories to help you live healthy after 50, because your health is your greatest wealth.